The name of the test is burning ID. There's no ASTM, and for safety equipment, you need your lab coat and safety glasses. Safety procedures: you need to keep your hands away from the open flame, use tongs to handle your samples, and do not touch the hot plastic. You'll get 3 mystery samples from your instructor. Now we'll be showing how to turn on the gas valves. There are 3 valves. This is going to be the primary one, shown by the emergency gas shutoff. To turn it on, you'll just push the switch down so it's parallel with the line. The next valve is located under the fume hood. You'll open this cabinet door. What you're looking for is a red switch, which is right here, which you'll be turning parallel. It means it's on. The final switch is going to be right inside the fume hood. You're going to turn it so it's parallel to the pipe. Using the fume hood, we have the ability to use the exhaust. For the purposes of this video, we are not having it on because of noise. Turn on the lighter and hold it over, and it'll turn on. Okay, for this test, you'll be using this flow chart to determine what plastic you have. There is a way to see if a material is either a thermoplastic or a thermoset by placing a soldering iron or a hot metal rod to it to see if it softens. For this test, you'll mostly be dealing with thermoplastics. First, you'll place your sample in a container of water to see if it floats or sinks. If it floats, you burn your sample and look for the color of flame, the odor, the burn rate, and other characteristics. If your sample sinks, you will burn a small corner of your sample to see if it does not burn, if it continues to burn, or if it self-extinguishes. Then you'll look for a drip, if it drips or not, and then you'll follow the other characteristics of color, odor, burn rate, and other characteristics. Okay, so we'll be putting the sample in the water to see if it floats or sinks. By placing the water, we see that it sinks. Okay, so our sample sunk, which means we need to see if it will continue to burn or self-extinguish. Take your Bunsen burner and hold your sample over the water, so if it drips into the bucket. You'll ignite your sample, and as you can see, this self-extinguishes. Looking at the flow chart, seeing that this is self-extinguishing, now we need to look to see if the material drips or not. Okay, so we'll continue to burn our sample. And it does not drip. So my sample did not drip, so we're down to 2, PPQ and PVC. Now we'll ignite the material again to look for color, flame, odor, burning speed, and other characteristics. So we'll continue to burn our sample and to look for those characteristics. Okay, after burning our sample, we got the yellow flame, we had a slow burn speed, and we had the white smoke, which is the characteristics of PVC. Now there's one last way to test to make sure your sample is actually PVC. The last test you can do to make sure your sample is PVC, it's called the copper wire test. You grab a copper wire from the drawer in the cubicle, and you burn it in your flame to heat it up. Once you get it heated up enough, you put it to your sample to get a piece of the sample on your copper wire. Then you burn the copper wire again. If you get a green flame, your sample is PVC. So we repeat those methods for your last 2 samples. Now it's time to clean up. First, turn off the last gas valve you turned on, pushing it so it's no longer parallel with the hose. Shut off your 2 remaining gas valves. Put your tongs and copper wire back in the drawers you got them from, and place your samples in a sample bag and turn them in.